to where I said a Chinese would rather learn English and speak to a Japanese in English than Japanese, and vice versa is true. Same thing between Korean and Japanese, the same thing probably between Vietnamese and Filipino, and vice versa. You'll move over here. I'm sure an Iranian now would prefer to talk to an Arab in English and an Arab to Iranian in English than one of those two languages. Same thing in France and Germany. I've been around people, so I'm not talking in a vacuum because I've seen this. I've been around these communities. I know that now deep down inside we understand, all of us, that a common language is good. Now, how we go about bringing that about is a different matter. Unfortunately, a vast majority of the world, a lot of people, because of the financial situation, their economic situation that they're in, they can either not be able to have access to inexpensive learning of this common language, or they're just so poor that is just not possible for them, or the system that's in place, whether it's the government policy or like that is blocking them. We're going to have to remedy that, and with the technology that's out there, this can be done easily, where the people who grew up in economically poor areas will have access to it, and we want to help bring their talent to the table. We want to help them bring all their knowledge and all that hidden talent that I said all the little kids around the world have. We want them to be able to share it with us. For example, a place where we can learn a lot from, I've been doing that myself, is India. One big nation, many languages. How is that being managed? What do people want to learn? What languages are actually recommended to people, or which languages people want to learn on their own? And it's easy to find out. And there are other places that multilingualism is alive and well. And I think personally, to better our future, we need the common language. I think it should be started around age 3. And right around age 9 or 10, a third language should be picked up. Let's say if you're an Iranian, your third language, if you're a Farsi speaker, should be Turkish, Kurdish, who knows, German, French, Ukrainian, Chinese, Japanese, because then you can take what you have with your background, the common language of the world, and your specialization in that other language. You can bring to humanity something that, with that specialization, you can offer, whether it's in the world of art, sciences, culture, music, you name it. So first language, of course, at birth, and second language starting at age 3 if possible, and third language around age 9 or 10. And now with the tools we have, it's doable. It's just a matter of will, whether we want to do it or not. And I'm going to show you a piece of paper. Hang in there with me. I have already shown this in some of the other video clips I've put up, but if in case you haven't seen that, this is my grade report from 10th, 11th, 12th grade. Okay? In Iran, they would do the grades on a trimester basis. So the first third of the year, you'd get your grades in this column. The second third, you'd get them in this column, and the third in this column. Now, what you see on the right is, of course, in Farsi, so majority of you are going to see this, won't be able to read that. But that's the subject matter, and this is the corresponding grade I made. But take a look at this. This has to do with literature, composition and literature, those two top two. But look below, everything else, algebra, trigonometry, arithmetic, physics, chemistry, foreign languages, both of them, in my case English. And what else? طبیعی و بهداشت, science, biology, zoology, classes like that. علوم اجتماعی, social sciences. تعلیمات دینی, religious studies. And then you go down to arts and crafts, sports, and انضباط, how well you behaved. With the exception of the literature and composition in the original mother tongue language, and history, and maybe social studies, and maybe a little bit of religious studies. Everything else, I think, to be taught in a language other than the common language is a waste of time. I never sat down with my mom at a table, talked to her about algebra, or trigonometry, or physics, or chemistry. If I did, I could speak to her about it in my mother tongue. So I'm saying that I believe that all over the world we should start teaching those sciences, arts and crafts, stuff like that, all of them in a common language. Because it's a waste of time. Because a kid, by the time the kid is 10, 11 years old, if they grow up learning these things in a common language, they can go anywhere else in the world and be at home and be able to use that common language to go to school, to grow, to learn more. And most importantly, all those talented, gifted kids that because of economic reasons or whatsoever are not able to share their genius with us, we are all missing out on that. And this would be a great way for us to channel and bring their talents and gifts and ingenuity out to benefit all mankind. So that's one suggestion. So back to here. Again, mother tongue from the time a person is born. Around age 3, I think the common language should be taught. Around age 9 or 10, a third language. It could be a language of the neighboring states or areas a person lives in. Or it could be another language anywhere in the world. I think that would give us ability to tap into all our energies and have a better future. It would be a waste of time for us not to do this. And now with the technology we have, now with satellite TV, as you all know, there's a lot of nonsense that's being aired in satellite TV. That's okay, we can't do nothing about it, but what we can do is get some of these programmings to teach this common language to all the kids, regardless of their financial background or where they come or the ethnicity. Give them access to this language to make this a level playing field, because at the end of the day, we want everybody to live up to their potential and benefit mankind. So places like Voice of America, BBC, German Deutsch language services, French radio, TV that they air in all these other languages, make sure what you do is accessible to a 2-3-year-old and be culturally sensitive, because